about 45 minutes left on this hunt, but we kind of wanted to take you through what our strategy was for striking up some turkeys here on this piece of public land. And it's a piece of public land that we've deer hunted before, but we've never turkey hunted. But our strategy was we knew, or we thought we knew, where most of the turkeys would be hanging out based on where the fields were, and then this river that runs through here is like prime turkey habitat. So our plan was we're just going to walk up this river as far back from this piece of public land as we could, and then call as we go, try to strike up a bird.
And one thing about the river that made it like the ideal place to do this kind of strategy is that it's windy today. As you can see behind Chance, that bank drops down, and when we're down in here, there's hardly any wind. So one, it's just going to carry better, and it's going to carry up and down this river a lot better, and so the sound of our calling will carry better for the turkeys to hear, and we'll also be able to hear the turkeys better since we're down in this river bottom more so than being up top in the trees and in the woods.
Yeah, and this is kind of whether you have a river or a creek running through or not. If you don't, I'd just try to cut through where you think the turkeys are going to be and call as you go. It just so happens that everything lines up here where that river really works to cut right through the middle, and it cuts the wind, and it's right where the turkeys want to be. You kind of have to think of it as you're walking and calling, that is your hunting. Instead of sitting down on a field knowing the birds are going to come, or sitting in the morning and hearing that gobbling tom, you have to think of your walking and calling as you're hunting. So you have to go slow and pay attention, because that's your whole hunting for the evening. So that's why in the evenings that's probably our main strategy if we don't have a food source, is to walk through the property and call as we go towards where we think the turkeys are to try and strike up a tom that's gobbling. And it worked today because they were gobbling pretty well early when we got on that bird.
And the one thing you have to do as well when you're walking through the woods and calling like this is to, one, just take it slow, but then be observant. Be, in the woods and looking at stuff. Like, pay attention to the details, like looking for tracks and looking for scratchings. That's what we were doing just down the river. I think we just found those tracks. I think we walked probably 25 yards and we heard that tom gobble. So we were not just walking and listening and trying to strike up a tom, but we're also looking to see where turkeys like to be in these woods, if we can find tracks or scratchings. And like this, when we're walking this river, that sandbar makes for a perfect place to find where the turkeys are crossing and if they're using this area.
And now one thing to add on to that strategy is that we were using that walking and calling strategy earlier in the afternoon. We only got on one group of toms that we heard gobbling. They kind of worked their way off, so we decided to keep walking. But now at the end of the evening, we're circling back to where those toms were, so we think they might be roosting in the area. We might be able to call them across the river to roost over here, might be able to get a shot at them. So that's one thing to remember, is if you get on a group early, don't forget about them. You can always circle back to them later. The walking and calling strategy is great to use on public land, especially in the evenings. We use it a lot, and it works well on new properties that you don't know either. But it's a great tip you can use throughout this turkey season.
Thanks for watching this tip. Make sure to like and subscribe below. That really helps us out. And stay tuned for more turkey videos for the rest of this 2018 season.